Coming off a relaxing 3-day weekend up in Boulder Creek, I'm Schmitty, and this is Talkin Schmit. Today on the show is Poppy Starr. Poppy's a skateboarder from Australia who has won the Combi Contest, entered the park at the Olympics, and currently has a documentary out about her life growing up called Tall Poppy. A lot of things have been happening lately. Currently, the dog's barking, the washing machine's running, and Bryce Whitestein. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but you actually didn't come through with the first impression. And that's why this has been dropped a little later in the day than I would have liked.
Hashtag, are you okay?
No disrespect though, huh, kid? Anyhow, how about them San Francisco Giants? 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, the best record in baseball, first place, and September baseball that matters. Gotta love it. Also, for you football enthusiasts, it's football season this weekend. Niners! Yes, that's right. You can get as drunk as you possibly can at a bar and scream Niners, and it actually makes sense.
You know, I could see you doing this.
Moving right along, how great is fucking skateboarding, huh? When everything else in life sucks, when you can't find light at the end of your tunnel, there is always skateboarding. Go out and slap a curb, go out and fucking grind, go out and just push and bomb down a hill, whatever you got to do, roll, and you will be smiling. As for me, I just went up to Boulder Creek and had a nice meal at the Sawmill up there on Highway 9, which just opened. Big shout out to their tots.
Shout out.
Those things are good, huh? Also, today being September 7th, one day after my mom's 75th birthday, big shout out to Judy Lavelle for holding it down. 75 years is
shout out.
Quite an achievement. And I got so much love and very proud of her and you, Mom. So happy belated and happy birthday to the one and only skate mental, Brad Staba out there.
Oh, this is the guy we're looking for.
He's got to be approaching 29 or 30 by now. Go get a slice of pizza at Raymond's for all that. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the skater of the motherfucking year, Thrasher magazine, the only one that matters. Remember Mark Johnson's speech? Anyhow, we got a lot of people in consideration. Who do you think is going to win Skater of the Year? For my money, I'm going to say Evan Smith. I'm going with Evan Smith. This is finally his year.
I'm not claiming.
But who knows? There's a lot of contenders, right? DeCenzo, Yuto, Tom Shar's part was insane last week. A lot of good shit going on in skateboarding. And other than that, if you follow me on the Insta at Epically Trife, you know I've been diving into the pints. No, not those pints. But yeah, I used to do those pints. Like Dan Pencil said, when you stop drinking, you go from pints of beer to pints of ice cream. And I got to tell you, Ben & Jerry's got me addicted again. I'm on that post-wedding ice cream road to New Year's. We got the middle of a 64 flavor Sweet 16 poll, like the NCAA, of all the wonderful flavors that Ben & Jerry's has. Maybe they'll advertise with me. Maybe come on the show, or maybe I'll just gain 30 pounds. I don't know. But don't be mad. It's it. You know you're still my boo.
Anyway, long story short.
This is Talkin Schmit, and this is Poppy Starr. Thanks for tuning in. Blood Wizard, you'll always tickety-tack.
Head on down to your local shop. Ask Blood Wizard Skateboards. Or visit bloodwizard.com for all your conjuring needs.
Tickety-tack.
Blue Plate, you're the spot for my fried chicken if I'm in San Francisco. And Manscaped, I'm wearing your underwear this week.
My shit's taken care of.
All right, take care. Here's...
This is Poppy, and you're listening to Talkin Schmit.
It's
cool, like tonight is the night.
Here we go again.
Just give it the old college try, right?
Big dog's in. 96 times, Schmitty.
Thanks, Schmitty.
We on? Schmitty?
Talkin Schmit.
That's called go to the hospital, bitch.
I'd be shitting my pants, man.
Your Rolodex is fucking deep.
It's about the one.
Who's this guy thinks he's tough shit?
What's up?
We're tastemakers.
Come on, Schmitty, what the fuck?
Let's hear it for Greg Smith. Yeah!
What's up, everybody? I'm back, and I've been working hard on my international guest list. And today, not only are we going all the way down under to Australia, but we got an Olympian skateboarder from the women's park as well. This is Poppy Starr Olsen, or as Dave Duncan calls her, Poppy Starr. What's up? How are you?
I love that. Thanks for the introduction.
You good?
Oh yeah, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I just got married.
I know. Congratulations. Was it awesome?
It was probably like the Olympics, you know. It was like, it was a little weird and a little stressful, but then like, yeah, just because the COVID and stuff, like everything is like, you don't know what's going to happen. So it's like, up until the day before we got married, I didn't know exactly who was coming and who wasn't.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. The wedding was amazing. It was just the buildup was like pretty stressful.
Yeah. Where did you get married?
Right on the coast of I don't know if you know Half Moon Bay. It's like above Santa Cruz, on the coast, like by San Francisco, but on the coast.
Oh, nice. I've never been there, but
it's super cool. There was like a redwood cathedral, and we took like shuttles because you can't drive there. So they had to have like a shuttle take us there. And it was really nice. I can send you some photos. It was like beautiful.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds amazing.
No, it was good. Yeah.
Have you had to like introduce anyone, like your wife as your wife to anyone?
I want to introduce my wife to Poppy.
Hi, Poppy.
Hi, how are you? Lovely to meet you.
Oh, I'm great now that I'm married to this guy.
I know. It's so exciting.
So
congrats, both of you.
Oh, thank you. I have to ask you the first question.
Okay.
Do you know what the state flower of California is?
Is it a poppy?
It is.
I love that for me.
Good. Well, enjoy the show.
Do you go by Poppy Starr or Poppy Starr Olsen or Poppy? How does it go?
I don't know. It's different. It's different for everyone.
What does your passport say? Poppy Starr Olsen?
My passport actually says Poppy Starr Clarabelle Olsen. I've got two middle names, but one of them's just forgotten now.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I think I went to Combi, like one of my first Combis, and they just started calling me Poppy Starr. And I was like, all right. Because Starr and Clarabelle are both my grandma's names. And so I was like,
yeah.
Right.
So when I met you, I just knew you as Poppy Starr. And I think Olsen was like later when, I don't know, but like, yeah, it was at the Combi and it was like Poppy Starr. And it was like, okay, that was the first time I met you, probably was at the Combi.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dave Duncan just started calling me that. And then when I'd go to America, everyone would just call me that. So I was like, all right, I'll take it.
All right. Are you quarantining or you're not?
No, I got out of quarantine like maybe 5 days ago. So I had like 2 weeks in a hotel in Sydney. Thank goodness I had a balcony. But then I got an exemption last minute to come to Queensland because there's no COVID cases here. So it's been, otherwise I would have gone straight back into lockdown. Because all of New South Wales, the state I'm in, is in lockdown. So I was like, I want to like be able to skate and stuff. So I got it last second because I came out of hotel quarantine. Could just zip over here. So it's been amazing.
Is that where your family is, Queensland, or no?
My family's in Newcastle, which is in New South Wales, but my cousins and auntie and uncle live up here. So I'm just like crashing at their place and it's amazing.
Damn, nice. Okay. And where were you born?
I was born in Sydney, born in Bondi. So kind of like grew up skating that bowl.
Nice. Is that your favorite park?
Yeah, I think so. I like it definitely was when I was growing up. That's all I would skate. And then I've moved to Newcastle, which is like a little beach town, like 2 hours north. And there's a pretty awesome bowl here that I love skating. And then there's like, we've got a couple like spots around and little skate parks are starting to pop up. Definitely like nothing compared to America, but does the job.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to Australia, but the one I always hear about is Five Docks.
Five Dock, yeah, that's in Sydney. It's really fun. It's just like a big park and there's like a snake run and this massive like sort of like half pipe DIY bowl. It's pretty hectic, but it's a fun park.
Okay. How did you get into skateboarding? What age were you? How did it all happen? I'm guessing you're in Australia, so a lot of people are skating, but how did it go for you? Did you see it and you asked for it, or did someone give you one? Or
Yeah, I was actually, because I was living in Bondi at the time and I was 8 when I got my first ever skateboard. And we would just like always kind of go down to the beach because we lived like a couple minute walk. So I'd go to the beach past the skate park. And then one day we were walking with my neighbor at the time. I think we were coming back from the beach or something. And he had this like massive like skateboard. And I just was like, whoa, can I try it? And for the whole walk home, I basically took this poor guy's skateboard and was like trying to learn how to use it. And it was just so fun. And by the time we got home, he like saw how much I was obsessed with it. And he's like, you can have it. And that's where it all started pretty much.
And do you remember like what kind of board it was? Was it like a plastic board or a small board, or was it like a legit board?
No, it was kind of legit. It was like this fish-shaped, really big board that was way too big for my 8-year-old feet. And it had these big orange wheels. Nothing was like, it was just a blank kind of wooden board, but I loved it. It was way too big, but it was the best.
Oh, how rad. And then as you got into skateboarding, do you remember who like the first person you saw in the industry, like in real life was?
I think when I was 9 and I just started like getting better at skating the bowl and stuff. I think I was at school and someone told me that like, I think it was Kevin Starr and Tony, they were doing some tour in Australia and they were at Bondi and I was like, oh my gosh. And I like got out of school and I went and skated the bowl. I could like only do kick turns, but that was kind of my like introduction into like skaters coming to Australia and it was amazing.
So you saw Tony Hawk and Kevin Starr do a demo?
Yeah, pretty much.
And that was before like you hadn't seen like Chima or Dustin or anybody from Australia yet or any of them?
No, basically I just would take myself down to Bondi skate park every day. And so I'd just skate the bowl. And those were the two that kind of rocked up first. And I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Besides the skateboard that the guy gave you that day that you were bugging him, once you started getting like more familiar with skating, what was the first thing that you got for free?
Yeah, I got a shop sponsor. So there's a skate park in Sydney called Monster Skate Park. And I started going out there and that's where I learned how to skate vert because they had like this massive wooden 14.5-foot vert ramp. And so I went out there and they'd have all these like sessions on Thursday nights. So I'd go out there and then one night they were kind of like, we want to sponsor you. So that was my first shop sponsor. So they'd give me like shop boards and stuff like that. And yeah, that's my first sponsor.
Do you remember the feeling like when they first approached you and were like, we want to give you free stuff?
Yeah, it was this cute little thing where like they'd have sessions each night. And then if you were like joined, I guess like the shops, they'd give you like this little t-shirt. And that was like when you knew you were legit. And I was like 9 or 8 at the time. And then I remember I was like battling this like tiny Euro gap for so long. And I didn't make it. I'm pretty sure I didn't make it. And the guy like Hagen, who like owned the shop, came up to me and he just like held out this green shirt. And I was like, like it was crazy.
Right.
It was so funny. But yeah, it was great.
Damn. And then, so what was your first legitimate sponsor?
First legitimate sponsor. I've had a couple crazy ones along the way, but I'd like to say probably Vans, I think. When
really?
like, yeah, because Bowl-O-Rama would always happen at Bondi and Steve Van Doren would come down. And I'm pretty sure I was skating there for a couple of years and I was wearing like these little like cheap Converse shoes, and he like looked down at my feet and then he took me to the shop one day. And that's kind of, I started wearing these pink high tops that he'd give me, and that's kind of where it started, I think.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
And you're still with Vans, right?
Still with Vans. I've been with them since I was like maybe 12 or something.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
Do you know about the Hoon Run?
No.
Okay. That's a bunch of Australian like skaters that I think everybody in Australia is into drinking beer, but these guys do it and they go on like camping skate trips. I think they call it the Hoon Run. It's like Andrew Curry and those guys. What's up with the TED Talk? I heard that you did a TED Talk when you were younger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I was like 14. So basically like I got invited to my first World Cup when I got invited to Combi when I was like 12, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I started like, I had to make money to get over there. So I'd start doing like selling all my art and stuff. And that's how I funded my first trip. And then my mom kind of got me into like doing like speeches and things. So I'd do them for schools and like try and make money. And then like TEDx friggin' like hit me up when I was like 14. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, what am I even going to talk about? But yeah, it was pretty crazy. The first thing I actually thought of was like, I've just done these like little speeches on like palm cards and stuff. And that I had to do a 10-minute speech, just like looking at the audience and like remembering it. And I'm like, shoot, but I don't know. I've done a TED Talk, I guess.
I have 2 8th grade diplomas.
Did they prep you for it or like help you? Like, this is what you should do? Or like,
yeah,
it seems like
much
a heavy thing to just throw. You said you were 14?
Yeah, 14.
And what was it about? Was it about skateboarding?
Yeah, basically I was like, what am I going to talk about? So I just talked about my life pretty much, and just like skateboarding and art, pretty much what I'm doing and how they kind of like link, and how art has helped my skateboarding and helped me get overseas and stuff. And yeah, that's what I talked about. Is
that available online somewhere that you can like go there and see your TED Talk?
I think I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I don't like watching myself. Every time I go and try, I'm like, oh, because I memorized it so much that when you like forget like a line or something, and I don't like watching myself, so I wouldn't know.
I can understand that. So you were doing art at an early age.
Yeah, I basically started drawing as soon as I could hold a pencil. So my mom tells me. So yeah, been drawing for ages, and then kind of like at school, I'd start making these little prints and giving them to my teachers at Christmas and stuff. And then basically like got invited to America for the first time, and my family wasn't in a like financial position to get me there. So I was like, how am I going to do this? So I started like making my art into these little like cards and prints and things, and I would sell them at markets, and I had a fundraiser. And that's how I kind of like got more into it and started funding my trips to America pretty much.
That's amazing. Because from what I gather, it's not cheap to fly from Sydney to New York or wherever, LA or anywhere in US. It's a big ticket right there. That's a lot of postcards you're selling.
You gotta want it, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It takes a bit, but I do markets like every weekend, and yeah, it did the job. And now I'm like lucky enough that like some like sponsors are helping me out. So just like living my best life. I've been pretty lucky with that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any tattoos?
I wouldn't even count them. I've got a swimmer here. I just got a can of peas.
Did you draw it?
No, I went into a shop. Someone else is getting a tattoo or something. I think it was Una. And I like looked on the wall and I was like, oh, I don't know can of peas. I'll get that. And my mom was so bummed. She's like, you don't even like peas that much. Why'd you get peas? I'm like, I don't know.
I really like tacos.
That's
Memories.
amazing. Well, describe the relationship with your mom. She's obviously your mom, but she's also like kind of like your agent almost, right? Or your coach or something. Like she helps you a lot with all that's been going on.
Yeah. So basically, like, I think when I was like growing up and like, I think I went in this like little local competition and there was only like 3 girls. And I came first and I was like, wow, what the heck? And that's when like my mom was like, oh my gosh, you can actually like make a living or something out of this thing. So she started getting really into it and like she'd take me overseas. She'd come with me and like help me out. And then like, yeah, kind of started like being my manager and stuff. And now it's like, she's been so supportive and great. But now I'm like, think I gotta figure some stuff out by myself or something. But no, she's been great.
Has that been heartbreaking for her? Like you coming of age, becoming an adult and saying, Mom, I think I can do this. Like, give me a little space and those kind of things.
Oh, I think like the most heartbreaking bit for her is that there was like at all these competitions, there'd be like a squad of mums, like with these girls, and they would party more than us. Like they'd all get together. They had like a little mum circle and they would drink so much.
This guy's got bud.
It's pretty funny to watch them actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be like the saddest bit for her. If like, I don't know, just like not being able to see her friends as much and like come with me to these things. But you know, need some room to figure it out for a sec. But she's great.
I mean, when I would film those contests and stuff, it was always like I was interacting with the moms as well. Like it was so interesting. Like they come up and be like, thanks for getting that trick of my daughter, or different things. And it was just like, but it's cute. It's like they're just like super stoked on like their daughters and stuff. And it was never too like annoying for me, but like I could see where like as you get older, it's kind of just like anything else. A parent has to like, fuck, they're going out for the night. Oh, and they're worried or whatever it is.
You know, every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
What was the first contest that you did in the US? Was that the Combi?
I went to Tampa when I was like 11. With this skate park monster that sponsored me, and we did like a little trip there. And I think we did like this little vert ramp contest in Tampa. I can't even like remember it too much, but I literally was like just learned backside airs. So I was just kick turning, doing backside airs. But then it was kind of like a little tour of America. Went to heaps of skate parks. I think we went to Woodward and stuff. It was pretty fun. But like, I guess like the first like big one for me was Combi. Did that. And then that was like crazy, like coming here from like, there wasn't many like girl skaters that I grew up skating with. And then I think I went there and it was just like so surreal, like met so many of my friends that I'm still friends with today. And it was a fun event, that one.
Like, is that the first time that you meet like Lizzie and Alicia and Nora and whoever else?
Yeah.
But like you knew who these girls were already, and then you come and then you're in a contest with them.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy. I remember like, I think Mimi Noob walked into the skate park once and I was just like, oh my goodness, like this is legit. And then Nora was there and Lizzie, and it was amazing. I was just like skating, looking at these people that I've looked up to forever. It was amazing.
Okay. What do you think, like when you first started skating versus now, as far as the girls, like you said, when you first started skating, there wasn't that many girls skating around you. Is that right?
Yeah. When I grew up at Bondi, I was like the only local girl skater there for like 3 years, I think. And then like other girls started popping up and it was so fun. But I just kind of like would just like go and skate the bowl pretty much. And there would be like these sessions with like these guys that were a fair bit older than me, like the bowl rats, and they kind of taught me how to skate. And yeah, it was super fun. But when these girls started popping up, I was like, oh, this is sick.
Was there any bad vibes? Like what are you doing skating your girl or any of that stuff in the early days? Or were they just stoked to see you show up and work with you? Or how are the vibes?
No, I think everyone was pretty chill. Like I'd always get comments by like the kids and stuff saying like, oh, you're actually pretty good for a girl. I'm like, thanks for that. But like apart from that, I think there was the occasional what girls can't skate, like that sort of thing. But nothing too bad. I'm pretty sure everyone was usually pretty supportive, especially like these guys that I grew up skating with.
Rad. How do you feel about that right now? Like if someone comes up to you and says you skate pretty good for a girl, is that offensive? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think I'd probably be like, because you want to just like, you want people to kind of think you're just good at skating in a sense, and it kind of like downplays it a bit when they add that little last line in. I'm like, I'm sure some of them mean well, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting to me because if we're going to still keep the genres split, like for competition, I think in people's minds, they're going to keep it split when they're talking about it, maybe. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I struggle with it myself because I understand, like, I'm friends with Alyssa and she always is like, I don't want to be a good girl skater. I just want to be a good skateboarder. That's it. Like, you know, so I totally am aware of that vibe and stuff, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm always like on the search for how do we improve life? How do we like make these things that we want to see happen? How do we make them happen? You know? And like, I think this is a good start right here with the new cover of Thrasher back here. We got Breezy on the cover. I was just like, blew my mind.
I know. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was so amazing. I saw that on Instagram and I was like, wow.
You know, hit the payphone. What up?
Let's talk about this cover right here. Because what I've been doing, I don't know if many people know this, but this girl's a friend of mine. And I got this relationship with her where I can text her whenever I want. And when I do text her, what I text her is, when the fuck are you coming on my podcast?
Breezy, where you at?
Yeah, come on. It's just me. It's just me and you. We could do it at 3 a.m. shotgunning beers. I don't care, whatever it takes. But when this thing hit it must have hit the Instagram or something for the first time when you saw it, right? That's where you saw. Yeah. Did you see? And talk about the reaction. Like, God damn it! I wish we could have all been up in Canada and done the whole pro board and all of it was happening. Know. Such a great time for her.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. And like that came out. And then, because I've been saying for like weeks, I'm like, when is Breezy going pro? Like, it's got to be soon. Like, when's it happening? She's just so amazing. And then I saw this on Instagram and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's happening. Like, it was just, it was such a great day. I'm so stoked for her. And then like Barbie put out her part and it's just like, it's always amazing just seeing these little like things come out of your favorite people and skaters. So I'm so stoked for Breezy.
Fabi had that Spitfire one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sick. She had the tail slide, that ditch that she's got to add. That's like 7 minutes from my house.
Really? Yeah, I saw that. I saw the photo of that and I was like, oh my goodness. I don't know who I was around. I don't even think they were skaters, but I was like, look at this. Mm-hmm. And then when it was her ender in her part, I was like, oh my God, here it is. It was so amazing. They're both amazing skateboarders.
And for those that don't know, this is common knowledge to a lot of people, but maybe not to everyone. This happens to be the first girl on girl skateboards. When we're talking about the girl that's on the cover here of Thrasher magazine, Sam sent me her board because I was like, dude, I need that board. And so I got one.
Really?
Yeah. So stoked.
Oh my goodness. I need one of those. I love the graphic. It's both of them and they look so cool. I'm so stoked for her. First girl on girl.
Well, so anything else like about the girls and skateboarding like that you're kind of wanting to see maybe like, is the notoriety there, or is there more work to be done, or like how do we feel about like the events and stuff? Like, is there, you guys seem, I say this every time I interview a girl. I'm like, I went to the first girls at the beach Vans Park series, and I was like, Lizzie, Alicia, there was a few girls I knew and they were ripping, but then there was a lot of girls that were just like Sky Brown. She could do a rock fakie. That was it. She would drop in and do a rock fakie and go backwards. Like she was like 1.5 years old or something. It was like
1.5 years old.
And her mom's like, ah, and we're just like, what's going on? And then next thing you know, she's on the cover of Wheaties. But what I was going to say is like, all of a sudden, maybe 2 years, it might not have been the next year, but 2 years later, like Bryce, all these people are just ripping. And like, I saw a lot of these girls like a year before, and they didn't really, all I'm trying to say nicely is that the competition got more. Like it used to be like, we know who the podium people are going to be, because there's only four or five good girls, it seemed like. And now there's like so many more.
Yeah, it's grown like so much, especially like even over the last couple of years, because like we've sort of like all grown up. Like I guess like the park competitive skateboarders are like Bryce and I, we've all like started skating Combi, and then have sort of like traveled around and gone to different events and stuff together, and everyone is just like progressing so much. And I think it's just like maybe because there's like more opportunities and it's growing, and it's just like it's been so fun, and it's been like such an amazing journey. But then like at the same time, there's like still so much more to be done, I think. But it's so good that we're like getting there, I think. And especially like one of the like good things about the Olympics is that all these events have started like equalizing the prize purse between the men and the women's. Because these like, I guess these Olympic qualifiers, like after the introduction of it into the Olympics, they had to equalize the prize purse. So I think then everyone started doing it. And so that was amazing. Like you could start like getting more money out of doing these like Vans Park series and stuff that you love. Right. So that's been super amazing. Yeah, but I think it's still like,
I mean, especially if you're in the contest world, it's like I interviewed Shanae, and she was like, I don't know how I'm going to get anywhere. Like nobody's paying for my ticket. Like, it's like, you know, like you need money to like get places and to like lodge and like all these things that like, I'm going to Idaho. I need a car. I need a fucking plane ticket. I need a hotel. Like, so
there's a lot of expenses, like, and especially like Australia is so far away from everywhere. Right. So the flights are so expensive. Like, I think like a lot of people, to kind of make it and to do more with your skating, you've basically got to be in America, I think. Well, like for some people, like that's definitely where I want to be. There's just like a lot more opportunities and stuff. But I think it's definitely like hard when you're like, because I've kind of like grown up in these competitions, but like when you're not doing that, and I think you're like a female or non-traditional skateboarder trying to film more, it's definitely harder to get places, because it's just like there needs to be like, I guess, more ads and photos and people filming and stuff. But it's like there's so much more room for us to go, but it's really good to see how much is happening at the same time as well.
Definitely. I mean, it's in your lifetime that all this is happening. That's what's really cool. You know, like if you look back in history, it's like generations of things have happened through, and this is all your generation. It's like started when you were very young, but you're still pretty young, and it's still going, and you're a part of it. And that must be a really cool place to be.
It's amazing. It's just like kind of like growing up, and like I feel like so much has happened since I've started skating, and like especially from like not knowing any girls that skate for a couple of years and then coming to America. And I just feel like everyone's progressing, and it's just like it's growing more, and there's more like videos popping out, and like skateboard companies that are like inclusive, and like it's growing so much, and it's so amazing to just be like a little part of it and see it happening.
I did an interview with my friend from Exposure, Amelia, and she and I was like, you know, like at the end, I'm like, women skateboarding, it's evolving, like it's getting better, like it's getting more accepted, like there's lots of good things, like, you know, it's progressing in this way that girls can be happy with. But what more, like, what do you want more? What haven't you got more? And she's like, we need more covers.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like a month or two later, it's like, boom. I was like, yeah. So that's pretty cool. What was it like winning the Combi?
Winning the Combi was friggin', it was crazy. I was so shocked. I'm pretty sure there's like a video of it. They like called out all the names. And because I made the finals, and that's all I wanted to do really, because it was my first like pro event where I'd like stepped out of the like, I think it was 15 and overs or something, and like started skating in that one. So I wasn't expecting anything. I was like skating with all my friggin' idols. So I was just like excited to have a good time. And I made the finals, and I was like, so stoked. It was awesome. And then basically skated, didn't expect anything of myself, and then they started calling all the names, and I was like, oh my gosh, they got to second. I was like, they've forgotten me. Like how could they do that? It's not that hard to read names off a list. And then I got first, and I was like, oh my goodness, it was crazy. Just like standing next to Nora and stuff. It was super surreal. Combi always puts on a show.
Yeah. And then, I mean, as far as contests go, those banners are for, I mean, until the place is gone or whatever, but having your name up in those banners is so like a historical thing.
Yes.
Like when Navarrete got his name up there, it was like, I can retire. Like he was so stoked. And like, you know what I mean? Like that's a big deal. And like, to be up there with those legends like Chris Miller, Caballero, fucking, I think Mimi's up there like 3 times or whatever, you know, like it's really cool. I feel like it's one of the best contests to be a part of as far as just like, cause it's an annual thing, and it's just got that vibe that like something you're like, this is the same fucking place every year. How can it get better? And it does. Like, oh, Pedro aired the fucking thing this year. What the fuck? Like, it's just every time, like it just heats up to a new level, and you're like, okay. So.
It's crazy. You're right. Like every year it just like steps up again. When Pedro did that, it was insane. And the finals are always like so fun. I feel like everyone's so close to the bowl, just like piled in, having a great time. Like when Grosso was there commentating, it'd always be so fun, and just standing around the bowl and everyone watching it. It's a great event.
Yeah. So who are some of your, and this is probably hard because you don't want to discredit anyone, but who are some of your favorite skaters?
There's like so many, but I obviously I love Fabiana Delfino. I just like love her skating style. And then I also love Pedro. I think they're both like amazing in their own different ways. And I would watch her like videos when I was younger, and I'd just be like, oh, that's what I want to do. She's just like having a great time, and she's so powerful, and her skating's amazing. And then like, I think I'm sort of maybe drawn to that sort of skating a little bit more. I love like Milton Martinez, but then I also have always been obsessed with Alexis Sabone.
Oh,
she's the best.
Were you able to be at the Olympics for the street, or were you only there for the park?
No, unfortunately, because I'm like good mates with a lot of them, but we were sort of like, the street skaters were on, they were flown out, and then we were flown in after, so we didn't have any time to like lap over.
Right, because Alexis, she fucking...
I was on the edge of my seat. She was just like, love her. She does everything right.
Yeah, and it was like, I don't know, from my perspective, it's kind of like this person that's like, it's not really what she's about, but she's so good, and she's there she is. And now she could actually, like, it would be kind of like Jeff Rowley winning or something, you know, just like, it's just like, wow, like so cool. Yeah. So talk a little bit about the Olympics. Like that must have been insane. Because like I was saying, our wedding kind of felt like that as far as just being in a COVID thing where it's like the buildup is like, is it happening? Is it not happening? There's qualifiers. No, there's not. Like, what are we going? I don't know. Like, wait, now there's no fans. Like, how are you feeling like building up to it? Like, are you like, I don't even know if I'm going? And like, how late did they tell you were going? And like, what was it like?
It was, the whole process was like pretty surreal because like you'd be told like so many times by people like it's going to be off. And then when it was like set back a year, I kind of like, I had all these plans of things that I wanted to do, like either move to like America or Canada and start skating. And then all of a sudden, like it's this thing you've worked on for ages. And then it's like pushed back. And so everything else gets pushed back sort of thing. So there was like a lot of times you're like, oh, is it going to happen? Is it not? I just want to like kind of like move on and start like, I don't know, filming a part or doing something else because like all your energy is sort of in this.
Yeah.
So
are you kind
yeah,
of on pause?
Yeah, it felt like that, but you kind of just had to like treat it like it was going to go ahead. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely like a lot of setbacks and a lot of times you're like, oh, I'm like so over this and not knowing. But I think like after like finally getting there and like going through like all the hurdles and like not getting COVID and just skating there, I think like actually dropping in at the actual event, I think everyone was pretty excited. I know especially in like the park girls, I think we're all just like pretty stoked that we made it there after everything. And so we were having a great time skating.
So can you talk about like what the process was? Because I heard there was like a booklet this thick to like COVID and flying and getting to Japan. Like I heard it was no joke, the amount of like papers you had to read and go through.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. Like there was a lot of stuff we had to do before we actually went to Japan. Like there was so many apps and so many pages of things you had to fill out. It was crazy. So yeah, there was a lot to do. There was lots of really long Zoom calls that I kind of just like let other people watch and fill me in a bit. But yeah, there was a lot of work to do, but we finally got there. We're at the airport in Japan for 5 hours because there were so many checkpoints to get
when you
through.
Arrived or when you left?
When you arrived.
And then when you get there, did you have to quarantine for a while before, like, were you guys all in like these bubbles or something?
Yeah, the Aussies were in a bubble. I think it was kind of like your country sort of thing.
Okay.
So like we got there and there was so many COVID tests you had to get. Like you get them like, I think it was like 48 hours and then like 24 hours before you actually leave. And then you're going through all these checkpoints and you have to had like a fat thing of documents that I had to show to all these people. And you'd walk like 5 meters and then the next person would be like, oh, can I see that again? I'm like, but anyway, it was pretty crazy. But after like getting through and actually getting there, it was pretty surreal.
When you're there, there's practice. There's just maybe 20 people around. Like there's no fans. There's nothing there. So like, did it have the importance of a regular contest? Did it feel different than a regular contest when you're actually in the bowl skating, or did you kind of just feel like you're at a skate park with no one there and it felt more mellow?
Yeah.
Like in my perspective, it seemed like from where maybe my nervous and anxiety would be is that I would look around and if there was thousands of people looking at me, I'd be tripping. And since no one's there, I might feel more relaxed and be able to just be like, okay, I know I'm on TV, but like the pressure of everyone surrounding you, but I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I went there, I wasn't sure how it was like all going to pan out, especially like with no audience and stuff. But I think like I kind of like get hyped on that, like at Vans Park series and stuff, when all the other like skaters are watching and like people are in the crowds. I think it just hypes me up more. So I was like, oh, how is this gonna like pan out? But there was like, it was interesting. There were people from like all the other events that could come and watch. So there was like a little bit of people in the crowd, but I think all the girls were just sort of like hyping each other up after everything. Yeah. So we kind of like, it ended up being a really fun, amazing day, because I think we're all just stoked that we made it to like that point and we all got there. And so everyone was hyped when anyone did a trick or landed a run or something.
So how long before the event did you arrive in Japan? Were you there like 2 or 3 days or a week or?
It was like, I was there for about a week. So I think we had 2 days before we started practicing, and then we had like maybe 3 or 4 days of practice, and then the comp was on.
And then did you leave the day after?
Left not the day after, but the day after that, which was I was hyped on because I could watch the guys skate, which was super fun.
That's what I was gonna say. Was there any other parts of the Olympics that you got to take part in to like see like some other, like I got to see the javelin throw? Or,
yeah, no, that would have been pretty interesting. No, I actually just got to watch the guys. It was really hard to get anywhere unless you basically were like competing in that event, I guess. So I didn't get to watch anything, but got to meet a lot of crazy athletes, and like the whole village situation was pretty surreal. Like each country had their own building, like full building of apartments, and like with their like country's flags on it and stuff, and like you just walk around and everyone's so fit. Yeah. And you're like, oh my gosh.
There's the gymnast team.
I know. Short
and just like sugar.
Yeah, everyone was crazy. And you play this game, we like have to guess what everyone's like sport is and stuff. And there was a couple fun things to do.
Okay. The thing that our local radio was making a big deal about was this is a crazy one. They said that they were so worried about the athletes having sex with each other that they they made the beds like this, like thin, cheaper bed or something like that.
Cardboard.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah, they were cardboard. It was so funny.
The announcer on the radio, he's like they can't find somewhere else to have sex.
I know, it was pretty surreal. The beds, I was like, really, is this true? Got in there, like all the beds are cardboard. You could like probably like take them apart and set them up yourself. I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm pretty sure like most of the buildings and like at the front of them, there's like a box of like condoms and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure it's like it's a big thing. But
Olympic
pretty surreal.
Condoms.
Olympic condoms.
Go for the gold.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty funny, but the cardboard beds, that was a good one.
First of all, I want to say that from my perspective, the guys' street was horrible. It was shit. It made skateboarding look really bad, and it was boring, and nobody landed their tricks. The filming sucked for fucking everything. I don't know what happened. Like, was Krolik sick, or like the guys that normally do it? Like, the filming was like so weird. But with saying that, the girls fucking killed it. The female street was night and day to the guys. Like, it was like they were having fun. They were making shit. It just looked rad. And it made it look like they were having fun, which was the best part for me. And then the girls in the bowl was super cool too, because I know all you girls. And so it was so fun, like seeing Lizzie, you, Brighton, Amelia, and so that was really fun for me. And then the guys, for some reason, the other thing that sucked about the Olympics from over here was the coverage was just so hard to find. Like, the men's skating's tonight at 5. And you're like, okay, I got 30 channels of the Olympics and an app, and I can't find the fucking skateboarding. And it was just, and then like for the men's, they didn't show Pedro's best run. Like Pedro, I think got second or third, right? Second, but his run that gave him second, they went to commercial break for. So they showed Corey Juno like twice in a row. And I was like, the other two runs made it look like Pedro kind of didn't do that well. And but then when I saw the results, it's like, oh, the run that he did the best, they didn't even show. And I'm like, I don't know. I could complain about it, whatever. But I just want to give props to you and all the girls, because even at the end, like they made a big deal about like you guys picking up
Masugu.
Yeah. And like, you know, like the camaraderie and like the joy and stuff. But it was like, it's not fake. Like that's just how they do it. Like, remember when we did the Combi Contest and you guys were doing all your dance moves and like, and I had to edit the beginning and everybody's is just like, that's always the vibe. And I just really could appreciate that. So I was stoked on that, but I just was wondering about like, after your run and you come out and then there's no people, like, was it like, what that feeling must have been surreal. Like that's all you could describe it as, I bet. It's just like and the funny other thing too is 2020 Olympics. It said 2020 everywhere, but I was like, oh, there's a typo. It says 2020.
I think that's Schmitty.
I don't know. That was really funny looking at that all the time too. It's like everyone be like, wait, 2020? Because I think they just like, I don't know, spent so much time on like the logos and stuff that it stayed as the 2020 Olympics or something.
Yeah. Well, they have to do it every 4 years. So it's going to be like, the next one's going to be 2024, even though it was 2021. So, but what was the media situation for you? Have you done like have you done way more interviews and gotten a lot more attention through this whole process? Has it been like, whoa?
Yeah, leading up to it was pretty crazy. Like there was just like so many like Australian like radio channels and stuff, like not really like skateboarding related, like sort of like sports Olympics related sort of thing. So I was doing like a lot of media stuff around that. So it's been actually super nice since everything's over, because you can just kind of breathe for a second and not answer all the same questions all the time. Yeah.
Oh man, I saw Jagger Eaton was like on the late night show or something. I was just like,
I saw that, and he had a mullet or something.
Yeah. Oh man, sometimes life gives you lemons. What can we talk about Una?
Yeah, we can talk about her. We're not together anymore, unfortunately.
Oh really?
Yeah. But we're like great mates. It's just like, it was a hard situation with completely different countries and everything. Yeah. And I think there was like a lot going on for both of us, I'm pretty sure. But, you know, we're still great buddies, and like I love her skating and like been through like a big part of her life, and she's been through a big part of mine, like leading up to the Olympics and everything. But it just was like, got a little bit too hard for a second, but we'll see where it takes us. Who knows?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. You're good though.
Yeah, I'm good.
You want to hear a interesting little Schmitty's world? It's like 3 separations of Kevin Bacon, but with Schmitty
I would love to.
I interviewed Una on the podcast. I forget what episode when. And that day, she's like, guess who my girlfriend is? It's a secret, but I can tell you. And so she told me like before, like many people knew about it already. And so it was really cute.
I actually remember that. We were in Australia. We were at my hometown in Newey when she did that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Rad.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. She's awesome.
So let's talk about the documentary.
The documentary.
It's called Tall Poppy.
Yes.
Did you used to be called Short Poppy?
I've always been pretty short, so the name's kind of funny. But I guess it's like an Australian thing for like, I guess people would like when there's like tall poppies and they're a bit different, people would cut them down sort of thing. So it has like a little bit of stuff about that, like cutting people down for being different. I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping I'm getting that right. Justine's been filming that of me for like 8 years. And there are honestly times where I'm like, is anything going to be made with this? Like, what's going on? But yeah, all the ups and downs of my crazy life. And it's very surreal, like watching it now. There's been like some big parts in my life in there. Una was a big part of it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like it followed us all because we were apart for 11 months during COVID because it's impossible to get in or out of Australia. Yeah. And then after 11 months, we finally figured it out how to get her in. And so she had to do the 2 weeks quarantine, and it's sort of like documenting that and like our reunion and all that sort of thing. So there's like lots of big parts of my life in there. It's pretty crazy.
And how did it get started? Did your mom get people to start filming you when you were young, and then certain things start happening? They're like, wait, we can make a documentary. Like, how did it all kind of develop?
No, I think Justine, the director, was just like at the skate park one day. I think they were making a little short film about some of the older guys that I grew up skating with there. And then Justine was just like watching and sort of saw me skating. And then that's sort of how it started. We started like filming a little bit, and then she wanted to make it into something more. And next thing you know, I've been filming for like 7 years.
Oh my God. So at what point are you kind of just like, is there times where you're like, I don't want everything to be on film? Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the time, because like this was like my prime teenage years. So like a lot of the time, like, I just want to do my own thing. But yeah, there's like sometimes you're like, this is really cool. Like that it's being documented, and like all my friends that I've grown up skating with, like we can all, I guess, watch it back and sort of have this memory that you'll hold on to forever. And then I'll probably like really appreciate when I'm an old lady. So it's like, it's this really cool memory, but there's definitely was times where I just was off it and wasn't sure if it was ever going to be made, but you know, it has, and hopefully it should like help some people maybe whether it's like interest them into skateboarding, or like, because my whole coming out thing was in the film as well. So hopefully it has a good effect on some people.
Rad. Where can you watch it? On iTunes?
Yeah, it's on iTunes now. Yep. It's pretty crazy. I think it's like top 2 documentary or something. So I don't know if it's that anymore, but I was like, wow, that's pretty insane.
Have some of your peers or people watched it and talk to you about it afterwards?
Yeah, I had, because it was in like cinemas in Australia.
Oh, really?
While I was in America. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I had like lots of family members, and there was like a screening in Newcastle, my hometown, and like my whole family and all my friends went to it. And so that was really surreal. I'm like bummed I wasn't there, but I'm also kind of glad, because it would have been interesting just like watching your whole life in these crazy moments with all these other people watching it too. But yeah.
I can't even imagine. So you haven't done that? You haven't watched it with a bunch of people at all?
No, I watched it with Bryce and her family, but I was in America while it was like going around cinemas in Australia and stuff like that.
How many bathroom breaks did you take? I got to leave for this one.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah, but are you pretty stoked on how it turned out?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny, like when you're watching it and you like go through bits and you're like, oh my goodness, like it's so bad, and then it kind of like pulls through, and then I think like, I don't know, it's just it's kind of, I guess, my life, and you can't really filter it too much. And I think after watching it, it was pretty cool, I think, how it all came together.
Rad. Do you ever struggle with anxiety or like get super nervous? You seem pretty calm and collect, and like you've been in a lot of crazy situations, but you seem to kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I think that's what I usually do. I just like kind of like try and go with the flow. Like it definitely has been pretty crazy at times. Like since I was 9, I've kind of just been like competing and been on this crazy train with this. Like there hasn't been like too much time to like just like chill or take a second, which is like amazing. I'm like so lucky to live this life, but it's also like has its challenges and stuff. But it's like amazing that the Olympics has happened, and now it's sort of like, oh, I can kind of like go out and film and experience skating in different ways because I've been in this world for so long, I guess.
It's probably a big part of it is you're Australian too. I feel like Australians just live a little bit more laid back, and it's like, yeah, good on you, mate.
Yeah, dog.
Have you had any like fan out situations? Has anybody like have you've been seen in the airport since the Olympics or anything where people come up to you? Like, has it felt a little different or is it about the same?
It hasn't. I don't think it's been too different, but I've been like hanging with my cousins and auntie and stuff, and like they're just like so excited. So we'll go to people and I'll introduce myself and they'll be like, she went to the Olympics and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't need to be introduced like that. But I haven't noticed anything like too much. Mind you, I've only been out of quarantine for a little bit. But yeah.
And I don't know how it is over there, but here a lot of people are indoors still. So it's not like as crazy going on. Let's talk about some goals. What are some tricks you have in your head that you want to really learn? Is there anything like, oh, I want to do can you do 540s?
No, I can't.
Is that something you like? Do you dream of like someday I want to do like, or like, I don't know, front blunt, or like, is there a specific trick that you're like, man, I need to get that someday?
Oh, there's definitely a couple. I've kind of been like wanting to do 540s for a while. They're just pretty scary. But it seems like a sick trick to do. I think there's also like all these other little ones that I want to learn to, like maybe like a flip trick or a front blunt would be amazing. But yeah, maybe like a kickflip indie or something like that. But probably just to like 50 a handrail would be amazing.
I think
do something that isn't in a bowl.
You can do indies, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing kickflip indie. I think you can do it. I think if you were like, I'm going to go to a vert ramp every day and I'm going to skate. And at the end of the session, I'm going to put 15 to 20 minutes only trying a kickflip indie. I think you would do it within the year for sure.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. Schmitty.
What's the gnarliest thing that you've seen in person? Like what was the like skate thing that you saw that you were there for and you're like, holy fucking hell?
Honestly, I think at Combi, what we were talking about when Pedro like aired the middle of the island, that was insane. Yeah. And so who did it? Someone did it before him or after him or something too?
Yep. I forget his name, but yeah, somebody did do it. Yeah.
So it was like back to back and the crowd was going crazy. And I think that was definitely like one of the things that was like, wow, that was what just happened sort of thing.
And then Clay, different time, but he all aired the whole opening of the round bowl there, like from here over the gap. Like that doesn't even make sense either. I'm like,
yes. I remember seeing that. I don't think I saw that live, but
yeah, no, I think he did it like just for a photo, but it was like fucking
that was crazy. Just using that bowl in like ways I couldn't even imagine. People are insane.
See, oh yeah, it gets deep. Oh, see,
that was amazing though.
Are you just chilling right now, or is your mind not able to chill and you're already like, okay, I'm putting a video part together next? Like, do you have plans? Are you in the process of like, I got goals for this, or like you just trying to chill for a minute?
So I'm where my cousins are at in Queensland, and it's been so chill lately. Like it's just sort of like crystal clear waters and beaches. So I've just been like swimming and taking a second, but I'm already like, I want to be in LA. Like I want to be filming and see all my friends again. Cause just like after not being able to travel for so long and then being lucky enough to go to America and see all my buddies was like, I want to be back there. It was amazing. But yeah, definitely want to film. I've been filming for Dear Diary 3. So we'll see when that comes out. But filmed a little bit in America of like Mommy and Bryce, and just like filming my friends in day-to-day life has been super fun.
Mammy is so cool, huh?
Konnichiwa. She is the best, one of the best people ever, and her skating is just like amazing.
Yeah, I love her. Okay, I'm going to give you a list of things and you tell me how you would prioritize them. Like what your number one, what's your number two, what number three, right?
Okay.
You can get a full video part done.
Yeah.
You can have an interview in the magazine. You can have the cover of a magazine, win a major contest, or you can have your own signature shoe. What's the number one thing out of those you would want?
Is that real?
This is a first time question out of my mind. I like this one.
Ooh, I think probably at this point in time, I'd love to just like film a video part, I think, and like put it out there. Because I mean, wow, like having the cover of a magazine would be amazing. But I think I gotta put out some footage first. There's not much going out there, but yeah, I'm excited to hopefully do all of that one day.
You getting boards from Birdhouse or?
Warble. I'm getting Warble boards now.
Oh, that's new, right?
Yeah, it's pretty new. It's like a couple of months, maybe a little bit more than that.
Who's all on there?
So it's the Mull brothers. There's like Tom and then Clara and Eunice. They're a sick little crew, and they just put out this video, and I had like a couple clips in that. But they're just like super funny, like chilled group of people, just like putting out these videos, but just having so much fun at the same time. They're a bunch of goofballs, but I love them and so happy to be a part of that.
So would you put a part, if you were going to work on a video part, would it be for that, or would it be for Vans, or what would you reckon it would be for?
I don't know. Whoever will take me, really. I'll be stoked on anyone. But yeah, Vans or Warble would be a dream come true. But we'll see what happens. I'll have to, I guess, like start filming first and see if anyone likes it. I guess
get it going.
Yeah.
What size wheels are you riding these days?
54s. So 54. I've gone down a bit, but for the Olympics, like the course was so big that I chucked on the old 58s that I haven't had in a minute because it was huge. I was like,
was it big?
Yeah, and I was like, I really want to go fast around here, so I put on some massive wheels again.
Well, I'm super stoked that you took the time to meet up. It's good to see your face. I don't think I've seen you in probably like 2 or more than 2 years for sure. I'm pretty sure. It's
been a while. I hope all of this clears up soon and we can travel again.
Yeah, like are you doing anything specific to kind of help your mind and everything stay positive through like the ups and downs of this crazy time that we're all dealing with?
Yeah, I think
do you draw more often?
Yeah, I've been drawing a lot. Like when peak COVID was happening, I like just made lots of prints and was drawing so much because I guess I just hadn't had that much time to do that sort of stuff because I'd just been like skating heaps. So definitely drawing a lot and then chilling a bit. And I guess now I'm just like want to go out and film with my friends and skate and chill for a second and
skating
plan how to get back to America.
Yeah.
Somehow.
When we were in lockdown, I was freaking out and I just because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment with no yard. And I was like, I'm not made for this, And my wife.
Hi, Poppy.
Who at the time was my fiance.
Your wife.
Yeah. She was like, let's get a bike for inside. And the first day I rode it, I sweat. And I was like, that's what I've been missing. And it's like, that's what helps you is like, like skating and sweating and just exerting yourself, like, and having fun all at the same time. Like that's the shit, man. If you ever want, like, I would love to have you draw something for me. That'd be really cool. I saw those things you did. You did like a intro for Thrasher, right? Like,
I did actually.
That ruled. I was so stoked for you. I was like, yes.
Thank you so much. That was like the ultimate dream come true. Like, since I was like a kid, I was like, wow, like imagine making an intro for Thrasher. That was life goal right there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to list who your sponsors are, or any of the people that are helping you out, and thank anybody?
Sure. I guess we've got Getting Flow and Indian OJ now, and basically just like Warble and Vans and TSG. Those are my guys right now. Thank you.
You just influenced somebody.
I want to end it with a few Australian slang words that are like really good for me to know. Like, I learned about bludger, right? That's like a lazy person, bludger.
A bludger. I guess so. I feel like I don't know enough slang words for you, but I can try.
What? There's nothing that you use that like your friends are like, say that again. What's that, or anything like that?
Oh, my friend the other day was like, I thought this was just a really funny line that I hadn't heard before. There was someone who thought he was flirting with his girlfriend, and he's like, yeah, bloody so-and-so thinks I'm chopping his Mrs. Bush. And I was like, excuse me? What did you just say? But it's so funny because I grew up in sort of like a proper part of Sydney. And so I've got like a Canadian dad. So there wasn't too much slang there, but like moving to Newey, and yeah, it's been great starting to get there.
Have you seen most of Australia? Do you travel around Australia much, or not really?
I've been to lots of the coast parts. Like, I got family in Queensland, and then obviously Newcastle, Sydney. I haven't been inland Sydney too much. Melbourne, I love Melbourne so much. It's like really fun.
Gold Coast?
Gold Coast, yeah, that's like a 2-hour drive from where I am now. I'm on the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, okay. And then do you know AC/DC, the guy Bon Scott, the singer? He's buried I think it's Perth, right?
I'm not.
It's the other side of the country. But
right.
Because Jake and Hubbard, when they went to see his grave, he's buried, I think, in Perth, and they were coming across the country and they flipped their car. And like somehow they survived, but they were going like 110 and flipped the car. It's like a photo inside the Thrasher book. It's insane. They were dressed up like monks and stuff. You never heard about this?
No, clearly not.
Oh, I'll send you the photo. It's crazy. They're in the middle of like the outback, literally nowhere. And he's like, dude, it was like 2 hours to get to the nearest gas station or like anywhere. And it was him, Dennis Busenitz, and Mark Hubbard. And I think the guy was in the passenger seat. He was asleep and he woke up and he thought the guy driving was asleep. So he grabbed the wheel and it just fucking went woo. And like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they're dressed as priests. They have like the collar and everything on. It's insane. It's the craziest story ever. I'll send you some of the photos. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but it's always like AC/DC for us was always like, that's the best rock band of all time. Them and Black Sabbath, it's debatable, but I like AC/DC. Yeah, I kind of listen to them more. And so like, if I was ever going to go to Australia, I would be like, should I go? I got to go to the grave to see Bon Scott. Outside of Sydney, what do you recommend for me? Do I need to go to Melbourne? Do I need to go Gold? Like, where would be the ideal spot?
I love Melbourne. Just because it's so cool, and there's like lots of like amazing like skate parks, but just like the nightlife and like the people around there, it's a really cool place. But Queensland, where I am right now, very tropical rainforest, like waterfalls, beaches and stuff like that.
That's my vibe.
And then Sydney's kind of a bit of both. You've got like amazing beaches, but then there's also like really good skating there and like interesting parts Like I lived in Newtown in Sydney like 4 months before I came to America, and that's a really cool little part of Sydney. So the places you got to go.
All right. Well, hopefully someday I'm going to be down there. That's definitely my top priority is Australia and Japan. Those are the two places I haven't been that I want to go most. What's your shirt? Is it Godzilla?
Yeah, I got this in Boise, Idaho at like this little vintage shop, and it's still one of my favorite t-shirts.
Ah, nice.
I've never even known what it says, but I was skating with Mommy in America, and she was like reading it. She's like, oh, I think it was like Godzilla versus Dragon or something. And I was like, oh, so cool. Oh.
And you've never been to San Francisco, or you have been?
I have not for a while. Oh, actually, we went there for a little bit when we were filming for credits, just like a couple of days. And it's amazing. I love it so much.
Yeah.
There's like so much stuff to skate and cool people, and it's beautiful there. Okay.
Well, fuck. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. Thank you so much. And hopefully our paths will cross. Let's if you come out this way and you come up here, for sure hit me up. And I don't know if you're down south, maybe I'll see you down south, or if the contest circuit starts happening again, maybe I'll be filming and you'll look over and there I am. Who knows?
I hope so. Oh, that would be so nice.
Yeah.
I hope that'll happen soon.
Who is out there that I mean, you don't know all the girls that I've interviewed already, but who would you maybe reckon that, like, have you tried interviewing this girl? She's got loads of charisma and good stories, or, you know, you should have her on.
Have you interviewed Maite?
No.
Oh, Maite is the best. Like Club Maite. Yeah, she's on UMA now, and she's super cool. Like she was actually on the Olympic circuit for a second there, and we would just have the best time. She's the craziest character and like one of my good friends, and we always have the best time skating together. And she's an incredible skateboarder, just so creative and crazy. And I think she'd be a pretty funny person to talk to.
Okay, rad. I'm working on her. Vanessa Torres, Breezy. Who else was on? Oh, and the first McTwist, Lindsay.
Oh, Lindsay.
Yeah.
First McTwist.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Any other thing that you want to discuss?
No, I think that's all good.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. What's your favorite road snack?
Spinach and cheese roll.
Really?
We have them in Australia. Yeah, they're like the little spinach and ricotta rolls that you just get at the servo, which is like the gas station.
Do you put them in a microwave, or are they cold?
They're usually like heated up at the gas station, and you just kind of.
They're spinach roll with ricotta cheese. What is it?
Yeah, it's like a little pastry thing.
Ah.
But I'm pretty sure it's spinach and ricotta inside it.
Okay. Well, sweet. I think that's all I got. I think we're good.
All right.
And also, I hear dinner's starting to be served. What time is it there? It's like noon?
I think so. Yes, it's 12 exactly.
Look right behind you, to your right.
Is that how you knew? I love that.
And then we always end the show with a song. So, and if you were going to go into a place and they had a jukebox of every song you could imagine, which one would you put on?
I think I Love the Nightlife by Alicia Keys.
All right.
That's my go-to. I love like kind of like 80s disco music. And yeah, that would be my nightclub song for sure.
All right. Well, thanks again. And
thank you so much. We'll talk soon. It's the best.
say hi to your mom too, if you talk to her.
Okay, I will, for sure.
Right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talking Schmit. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications every Tuesday of new episodes the minute they become available. Also, please leave reviews and a 5-star rating. It's the best way to help the show grow. All of the episodes will always remain free, but if you would like to help support the show, you can do so at TalkinSchmit.com, where you can pick up some merchandise like t-shirts, beanies, hats, and stickers. The website has an entire archive of all of the episodes, with extra photos and videos. Email us with any suggestions, comments, or ways that the show may have improved your life at talkinschmit@gmail.com. All interviews are conducted, edited, and produced by Schmitty. The intro music is Mary's Cross by the band Nature. Very special shout out goes to the executive director, Sharal Camisa.
Shout out.
Love it!
This is Talking Schmit, where the Rolodex is deep, but the conversation is deeper.